Volvo completed its 60 series with the new S60. You may know the car already if you don't live in Europe, because that car is already available, for instance, in the US. But today we drive the new S60. They changed the wheelbase, they changed the exterior length. Of course, they put in new driver assistance safety systems, new infotainment and a lot more. And today we'll have a closer look about what is really new with the car and what is the difference between the S60 and the V60. Our Volvo S60 in the trim level R design is quite well equipped, even though when we're talking about the infotainment and all the information you need to pick up while driving. So the car comes as standard with a 12.3-inch digital cockpit, which is really very nicely designed and very easy to use. And on top you do find a 9-inch upright, so typical Volvo, touchscreen here in the center console, which is featuring a very nice infotainment, a very nice sat-nav. And yeah, it needs some time to get used to it because it's upright, not the normal way, and the way it needs to be touched is a bit different, but it really works absolutely nice. And what I really like is I can easily connect my mobile devices using Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as well. The new S60 is about 5.5 centimeters smaller or thinner than its predecessor, and it's now 2.4 meters, including the rearview mirrors. And very important is, in Europe you can order the car at the moment only in the trim level Inscription or R Design, which are the top trim levels, and we're driving the R Design version. And this is the reason why we do have a quite different front. So we do have a different grille here in glossy black, and we do have this black elements here which look a lot more sporty than with a standard version. And you do find these elements here as well. They look a bit like, let's say, fake air intakes, but this together gives the car a lot more a sporty look. Very important with the new S60, it is a new Volvo. That means the car features a standard LED headlamps, but it as well features this so-called Torx Hammer daytime running lights. But our car got an optional extra, which is called Light Package, and that costs you in Germany 1,100 euros, and that includes LED fog lamps as well as the so-called active high beam system, which gives you the opportunity to drive with full beam through the night without thinking about others, because you will not disturb anybody. Volvo says that their cars are extremely safe, and this is one of the reasons why you do find loads of driver assistance safety systems as standard in the new S60. One is the so-called city safety system, and that is featuring an emergency brake, which not only recognizes pedestrians but also cycles and animals. And on top it features, for instance, a crossing assist as well. On top, as standard, you do find a lane assist and you do find a cruise control and all other stuff. But if you think that's not enough, you can also order as an optional extra a rear view camera, or you can have a park assist. And if you want, you can also have something that I would call nearly automated driving. The S60 is exactly as long as the V60, which is 4.76 meters, and this is about 12 centimeters longer than its predecessor. Very important is the wheelbase has been grown by about 10 centimeters, and that gives you a lot more space on the second seat row. Very important to give the car, let's say, the more sporty dynamic look. It is lower than its predecessor, about 5 centimeters, and it's now 1.43 meters. Part of the R Design package are also these glossy black rear view mirrors as well as the glossy black window frames. Very important with that car here in Germany is you can only buy it at the moment as the Inscription or R Design trim level version, and that means the car comes at the moment as standard on 18-inch alloys. Our car features 18-inch alloys as well, but this is a special design, and that costs you here in Germany 570 euros extra. But overall, important is the S60 is the same car as the V60 up to the B-pillar, and then with the Estate, of course, you find the big boot. With that car you have this lovely dropping roofline, this short boot here, and I think it looks quite nice. The interior of the S60 in the trim level R design really is featuring very nice materials and very nice craftsmanship as well. And so with this R design trim level, you do find like alloy surfaces here and here, so it's an alloy optic. I think it's not metal, but very nice to look at, very nicely made. On top you have this leather or fake leather, I'm not 100% sure, with very nice stitchings. You will find this as well. Here's the steering wheel and on the seats as well. So this really lifts the interior to a very nice level. On top of this, you do find very nicely made seats, which provide you with loads of comfort and more than enough support, and so you can really enjoy the drive. On top of this, you do find, as a driver and co-driver, more than enough space to feel comfortable and sit perfectly. So you see me, I do not hit the roof, but we do have this glass roof here, so it's enough space. I'm not quite sure about the space behind me. Well, we may do a short stop to find out if I could sit behind myself. So now let's find out if I can sit behind myself. First thing, I have to enter the car. And this is, for a tall person, not so easy, as you can see. Ugh, goodness me. So yeah, I'm in. As you may see, I have some space left in front of my knees. As you will not see, I have no space in my head. So I can feel the roof. But the really negative thing is my feet. They're really squeezed under the driver's seat, so I have no room to move. And this is nothing comfortable for a long trip. I do find, as said, very nice materials inside of the car up here everywhere. The only, not so nice thing is I do find plastic here at the center console, which looks like, but for me, when I put my knee next to it, very often I have such kind of a noise, which I do not like so much. At the rear of our S60, we do find, of course, taillights in LED technology, and important, with a typical Volvo LED signature. And important, we do drive the S-Line version, and that means we do have a bit more sporty bumper, the diffuser, and these, let's say, fake exhaust outtakes. But the most important thing, if you compare the S60 and the V60, is of course beneath here, which is the boot. The S60 offers a boot capacity of 442 liters. The V60 offers 529 up to 1,441. And this really is a big difference. And that's the reason why I would say, yes, this is a beauty, but I will take the boot. Our test car is featuring the middle engine of the 3 petrol, which is the 250 horsepower or 184 kilowatt 4-cylinder petrol engine. And that delivers a maximum torque of 350 Newton meters and is as standard combined with an 8-speed automatic gearbox. The car is a front wheel powered car, but I really do like this package because that really is a very nice, that provides a very nice drive. So you can drive the car very smooth, easy, and the gear shifting is nearly unrecognizable. And then on the other hand, if you want, you do have enough power to drive a bit more sporty easily. And you can, if you want, choose different drive modes. And so it's easy to just say, I want to change from comfort into the more sporty drive. You can really drive the S60 a bit more dynamic because the suspension really works well on the road. The steering is precise enough to really, enjoy the curves and bends. The only downside is we do have a 250 horsepower engine on board, but it's only a 2-liter 4-cylinder, which means if you really want to use this 250 horsepower and you push the pedal to the metal, the revs go really high up, and it sometimes sounds a bit like, that's work. And I really have to say, I do remember the old days where you had 6 or 8-cylinder engines and that sound were, more lovely. Regarding to the engine range, there is a big difference between the V60 and the S60 because the S60 is only available with petrol engines and they deliver a power range between 190 up to 310 horsepower, and all of them are 4-cylinder 2-liter engines. On top there is the so-called T8 twin engine, which is a combination out of the 303 horsepower petrol engine combined with an 87 horsepower electric engine, and this gives you on one hand side a 390 horsepower system output, and on top that car drives up to 50 kilometers purely electric. The datasheet of the S60 says the car should take 7.7 liters per 100 kilometer driven, and this is regarding to the measurement WLTP. This is a figure we didn't match during our test drive, so we reached a number, I would say about 9.5 liters. I think it's not too high, but maybe a bit too high, because we really drove our car quite relaxed. So there were very little parts in our test drive where I drove the car a bit more sporty. And I think if you drive the car more dynamic, you should expect something around 12 liters per 100 kilometer driven. But I still have to say, I think this is not an extremely high number, because this car features 250 horsepower, it offers loads of comfort and weight, of course. And so I think, yeah, you better get used to it, because this is what it needs. That was my test drive in the brand new Volvo S60, and I really have to say I like the look and the style of the car. When you look at the interior, you find loads of great materials, great craftsmanship, and a luxurious, very comfortable space. Talking about space, at the front seat, it's great even for tall people like me, but behind me, I do fit into the second row, but it's not very comfortable, so it's nothing extremely spacious. On the other hand, it is a very nice and modern car, and our car here comes very well equipped as standard, loads of driver assistance, safety systems, loads of infotainment, entertainment, everything you do expect from a Volvo. On the other hand, we have this engine, 250 horsepower, but I think a bit too thirsty, because when we drive that car like we did today, it took about 9.5 liters per 100 kilometer driven, and we were not sporty. So I think if you drive the car more dynamic, you should expect something about 12 liters. But on the other hand, 250 horsepower, loads of fun. And then when we talk about what should I say, buy or no buy, for me, I would always take the estate version, the V60, because that offers everything that offers here, but even more space. On the other hand, if you say, I prefer that look and style, and I really don't need this big boot, you can save about 5,000 euros.